Welcome back, boss. So you want to know how to build a successful business plan. Maybe you are currently applying for an SBA loan, or you're looking to bring on investors, or just wanting to get a better game plan in place so that you can be more successful. I'm going to walk you through the entire process in today's video and tell you some of the things that I think you really should pay extra attention to, and some of the things that I don't actually think they're that important, but the bank still wants them. I'm Amy Walker, Small Business Growth Strategist, and on the Like a Boss playlist, we show you the CEO skills that you need to be a better, more informed business owner and to really grow, lead, and scale your business. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I think 80% of what banks look for in a small business plan is important. I think 20% of it is not really, but they want it anyway, so we're gonna give them everything that they're asking for. And in this video, I'm gonna go through the entire strategy for all the different things you need to include in your business plan. At the end, I'm gonna share with you as well how you can use some AI tools to help this process go faster. The first thing they're going to want in your business plan is actually an executive summary. I recommend that you write this last. I don't even recommend that you write it. We're going to let AI write it for you, and you can just edit it and clean it up. The second thing they want is for you to describe your company. So this is where you're going to share who you serve, how you serve them, what it is that you do, and I would also include in there any kinds of awards, any type of innovations, if you own any patents or you have developed any type of technology or systems, this is a great place to put all of that info in. The other thing that they may ask for is resumes of your key people. And so you can include those separately, or you can kind of build that in here where you're just letting them know who are the key players on the team, what are the roles that they do, and a little bit about their background. But all of that falls under that umbrella of who are you as a business, explaining what you do. The third thing that you're going to do is state your business goals. And so this is where I recommend that you focus on short-term goals, like what are we trying to accomplish right now? Why are we looking to bring on investors? Why are we looking to get an SBA loan? Why are we putting together this big business plan? What's the short-term goals and objectives? Then I recommend that you go out about 3 to 5 years and create those mid-term goals. And then I want you to go farther, and I want you to look at ultimately who do you want to be as a company. Now, when it comes to funding, they are going to loan you based on where you are right now and based on what you want to do in the next 3 to 5 years and whether or not they see that as a good investment. So those are the most important parts. However, long-term vision shows about you as the business owner. Can you see this company becoming something big and great? Do you have a vision for it? Are you a great leader that can move it into that general direction? Next, you are going to describe your products and services, and this is where I would actually pull information straight from your website or develop some sort of a program guide. But this is where you're really letting them know, like, hey, this is what we sell. Everything we've done up until now is like, yeah, it's important, but the stuff 5 on, this is where it starts really getting good and really getting interesting. And I feel like most people only do the first 4 and they kind of stop at this point when they're building business plans for themselves. So this is where you really want to dig in and go deep. Number 5 is doing market research. Who are your competitors? What are their numbers looking like? How big is your market? What areas do you serve? Are you regional? Are you going to be a nationwide company? Are you going to be an international company? Knowing your market and your industry helps you be a better business owner. And I cannot tell you how many people start a business and they don't spend the time to go do market research and look around and be like, what is everyone else doing? Go through some of your competitors' sales funnels and find out how they're selling. Look at their social media and find out how they're marketing. Check out their website. Look, are they running ads? There's so much information that you can glean just by spending some time looking around you at your competition. Number 6 is, of course, one of my personal favorites. This is actually creating your marketing and sales plan. Now, I want these to be 2 different things. I know that the bank is going to just look like they're one, marketing and sales, but they really are not. Marketing is lead attraction and lead nurture. Sales is lead conversion. And too often when people put those together, they're missing substantive pieces in one side or the other. So I would actually separate those out, write out a marketing plan. I would bring it forward at least 12 months. I would have at least 5 up to 7 different strategies that you're going to use to bring leads into your business. I would focus on balancing out the ones that are free or low cost versus also where you're actually going to spend your money. And then with your sales plan, I would look at how are we selling? Are we doing one-on-one consultations? Are we running events? Are we doing presentations? Are we doing cold outreach? But like, what is our sales plan and strategy? And then I would also map out the customer journey and state in there the systems that you're gonna be using for your sales as well. If these tips are helpful for you, I would love for you to hit that like button and then subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time we release new content. Last week, I was working with a brand new client who we're just onboarding, and we were going through and planning out her marketing. And her experience was so similar to what the majority of business owners experience. We went through, and it's like she has this goal of here's where I want to increase my sales to, and she has this kind of vague idea of how many sales calls she needs to do in order to get there and how many clients she needs in order to get there, but she had no idea how that translated into marketing. So we actually ran the numbers, which is one of my favorite things to do with people. It's always a scary number when you get it, but at least you know. And so we ran the numbers and we looked at it and said, okay, if this is the sales goal and this is the average amount that a new client is worth to you, this is how many new deals we need to bring in every month. If this is your closing ratio, this is how many sales calls you need to hold. And we tracked that all the way back until we got to how many leads she needs to have. I have done that with literally thousands of business owners, and every time we get to the number of how many leads you need, I watch as their face goes like this. And I call that the pee your pants number, because no matter who you are, no matter how strong your business is, when you finally realize that number of what it's going to take to guarantee you hit your sales goal every month, it makes you want to wet your pants just a little bit. It's a scary number. It always looks really big. But then we go to the next part, which is we look at, okay, what are the 5 to 7 different strategies we're going to use on a regular and consistent basis in order to bring in leads? And then we just figure out how much we need to do of each thing in order to get her to that place where she has enough leads to close deals consistently. This is the point where I see so many people get stuck. They have no idea how many leads they need to hit their sales goals. So they're out there every month doing a little bit of sales hustle, but their sales are feast or famine. And I hear this so often from people. In fact, when I was starting my business, people told me this. They're like, oh, you're gonna start a business. That's really feast or famine, isn't it? No, it's only feast or famine when you don't have enough leads to hit your sales goal and you don't even know what that number is. If you want consistency and predictability, this is the place where you really want to spend some time. And we do have a tool that helps you with this as well. It's our ultimate marketing calendar. So that mathematical calculation I was figuring out with this client, you can have that for free, and it's even going to track all the different things that you're doing and track what the ROI is so you can see what's actually working. So I would recommend go download it, use it. It's not hard. It's a super sexy spreadsheet and you can get started with it ASAP. So the 7th thing that you're going to do as you are creating your successful business plan is you are going to perform financial analysis of your company and where you are currently at. They are going to want to see your profit and loss statements. They are going to, and it's probably going to be for about 3 years. They're going to want to see your balance sheets. They're going to want to get copies of your statements, copies of your tax returns. A lot of small business owners, in our minds, our business is worth a lot more than it's actually worth on paper. And so we want to make sure that we have that full picture. Now, even if you're not going to get a loan or you're not trying to bring on investors, I really recommend that you do this and figure out what your IBITA number is. That IBITA number is, and go look it up because I have the hardest time remembering it, but it's basically like your earned incomes before taxes and depreciation. There's more to it than that. Go look it up. It's an easy search. It's just hard to remember all the details that go into it. You need to know what your business is actually worth so you can create realistic growth plans and not have this inflated sense of like, but my company is so valuable because I love it. I love that you love your company. I also want your company to be actually valuable. Number 8 is where it actually gets fun again. Sometimes number 6 is hard and sometimes number 7 breaks our ego down a little bit. But number 8 is where we get to start making financial projections. How are you going to increase sales in the next 12 months? What is that goal? But not just what's the goal, how are you actually going to get there? If you continue to work your plan, how are things going to be looking in 3 years? Hopefully significantly better. I have a friend that says it's easier to 10x a business than it is to 2x, and I believe her actually. I would encourage you as you're doing this financial projections that you go forward and you say, okay, if I grew this company by 10 times what it is today, what would that look like and how would I get there? Sometimes the hardest hurdle is growing a little bit, and the easier hurdle is actually growing a lot. As you are making your financial projections, you do want to bring in the historical data and see, like, we've grown this much every year since we've been in business, but I don't want you to rely entirely on that because your changes that you're making in marketing and in sales and in hiring new people, all of these things that you're doing are going to change the growth trajectory. So if you've been growing at 10% per year, that does not mean that you can't 10x in the next 2 years. It just means you can't 10x doing the same things that you've always done. All right, boss, you now know how to build a successful business plan. The next CEO skill that I want you to master is hiring the right people on your team. So go check out how to hire. I'll see you there.